Welcome to the Speak Up Sis talk show for authors, conversations that connect, where powerful conversations meet purpose and connection. I'm your host, Angel Charmaine, and this is the space where stories inspire, wisdom ignites, and voices rise to build bridges that truly connect us all. Whether you're here for encouragement, empowerment, or just a dose of real talk, you found the right place. Let's dive in and have the kind of conversations that move us forward together. And everyone, I'm excited to be back here on Speak Up Sis Talk Show for a very, very special edition. We call this our Holiday Author Showcase. It is the first time that we are doing this in this space, and I'm really, really excited about it. And what's going to happen this week, I am going to share 5 self-published authors with you all, one author per day at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure that you have set your clocks so that you can join us. And today I have a beautiful guest. Her name is Tysheka Nekole Wright, and she has written an amazing book entitled Someone Else. This is my story. And I am so looking forward to this conversation. So, right now, I am going to bring our guest into the space so that she can introduce herself. Hello, Tysheka. How you doing? And welcome to the Speak Up Sis talk show for authors, conversations that connect. How are you doing, sis?
I'm doing good today, Angel. Good to be here.
Yes. And look, we're matching the decor.
Yes.
I
Matching
got on my
girl.
green, you got on your red. We doing our whole holiday thing, and y'all, we did not plan this.
No, we didn't.
We did not plan this, but I am so happy to have you into this space. And I want to say thank you, first of all, for trusting the Speak Up Sis talk show space to come in and share your story with us and share your book with our viewing audience. So before we get started, I would love for you to tell us a little bit about who you are and what it is that you do.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tysheka Wright, the Vision Make It Plain. I am a senior administrator at a government facility for a total of 17 years. I am the glamour of Kasion and Kaya Wright, they twins. I am a 3-time best-selling author of the book Someone Else. This is my story in Christian stewardship and alcoholism.
That is what's up, sis. Listen, I'm excited for you. This whole number one best-selling on the list, like you doing it. You are doing it. And I am proud of you. We are new to each other, relatively new, but we just kind of seem to hit it all straight away. And I'm really, really excited to have you in this space today. I do like to greet those of our viewers who come into the space. So before we really get started in our conversation, I would like to greet some people. Is that okay with you?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Most definitely.
All right, so that's what's up. Hello, Latoya Dr. Mac. Hey, thank you so much for joining us today for Speak Up Sis Talk Show for Authors, our holiday author showcase. We are definitely going to have a conversation that connects today. Hello, how you doing? Harold Bed's Thoughts. How are you? Thank you for joining us here on the Speak Up Sis Talk Show for Authors. We are so delighted that you are in this space with us today. Hello, Peggy. This says hand pink waving. I guess that means she's waving at us. Thank you so much for joining us, Peggy. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you for coming into the space. It looks like Latoya Dr. Mac is sharing us out and tagging some folks to come watch. So thank you so much for that. I really, really appreciate you. Hello, Dina. How are you doing, sis? Good afternoon. It is so good to see you in the space. Thank you so much for joining us today. And Tanya, how you doing, Tanya Robinson? Thank you so much for coming into the Speak Up Sis talk show for authors space for our holiday author showcase. And we are here today with author Tysheka Wright, and we are going to go ahead and jump full on into this conversation. For those of you who are brand new in the space, my name is Angel Charmaine. I am the host of Speak Up Sis talk show for authors, conversations that connect. I am also the owner of the Speak Up Sis Bookshelf, and I want to welcome you to Conversations That Connect. So let's go ahead and get in to what we are going to be talking about today. The title of your book is Someone Else, This Is My Story. And I remember asking you, like, someone else, what do you mean by that? So I would like to ask, where did the title come from? Why did you name your book Someone Else?
The reason why I named Someone Else, This Is My Story, is because when I was growing up, Tysheka always tried to be someone else. Tysheka wasn't comfortable with who she was as an individual. Tysheka was a people pleaser, y'all. I'm just going to be honest and straight up. I was a people pleaser, trying to fit in with different groups, trying to be someone that I wasn't when God had already made me who I was. So someone else, that's where I get the title from, because I wanted to be somebody else instead of being who God created me to be. That's someone else. This is my story.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm rocking with that.
Okay.
So tell me, have you always enjoyed writing, Tysheka? And if so, when did you first start writing?
When did I start first writing? I always enjoyed reading in school and writing different books. Papers and things. But believe it or not, I got this book right here we have received when we was in elementary school. It's called
Mhm.
These Wonderful Years.
You do not still have that book.
Yes, ma'am, I do. Yes, ma'am. And up in fourth grade, when I was in the fourth grade, and my fourth grade teacher asked me and a couple of other classmates in there, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Mhm.
Everybody, response be nurse, firefighter, police officer. My response was that I wanted to be a writer. I wrote this in that book that I wanted to be a writer in the fourth grade. So basically, it was already instilled in me, but I just didn't know what it was at the time until I became 48 years old, 44 years old, then I realized that God gave me this gift.
Oh my goodness.
Yes,
Cannot
ma'am.
believe you still have the book from the fourth grade.
Mhm.
Okay, so you got receipts. That's what you're telling me.
Yes, ma'am.
you,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
got receipts.
Yes.
Okay, so tell me this. You knew you wanted to be a writer, but there are all sorts of writers, right? You could have been a content writer for your own blog. You could have become a writer for a newspaper, magazine, or anything of that nature. What inspired you to become an author and write your own books?
Everybody familiar with 2020. Tysheka, yes, was acting a fool, doing what Tysheka wanted to do in the flesh. Tysheka did whatever she wanted to do, get drunk, hang out with friends, cuss, carry on like she was going crazy. But I was associated with this guy. Me and him was dated for 7 years, and he died unfortunately in COVID. I knew right then that Tysheka could not continue living like she was living. Tysheka was tired. It would seem like it was something was always missing from relationship to this relationship to another relationship. It was just something was missing. I didn't know what it was at the time, but God revealed to me that it's time for Tysheka to come home now. It's time Tysheka to start doing what I told her to do. And he instilled in me to birth someone else. This is my story, to tell my story about the things that I had encountered from when I was 8 years old up until 44 years old.
Okay, so was there like a defining moment, or was there something that happened in your personal life that said, okay, today is the day I'm going to start writing? Or is there something specific that took place in your life where you said, today is the day I'm going to start writing this?
When they buried him in June 2020, I
Mhm.
went home. Like I said, it seemed like all my friends kind of like was disconnected from me. They didn't empathize with me. The fact that I lost my friend that I was acquainted with for 7 years, they didn't care about what I had going on. And at that moment, I ain't gonna say I was in a sense in depressed mode, but I had to figure out what it is that I needed to do. So I started going on some YouTube videos, and I don't know if anybody is familiar with Caroline Roberts. Well, I first started out watching JD TD Blake's, watching his lives and things, and then I
TD Jakes, the pastor.
yes.
Gotcha. Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Continue.
And started watching him, then stumbled across a lady named Caroline Roberts. Caroline Roberts have different motivational speeches that she does on there, and I connected with one that she said was waking up at 3 p.m. She was talking about how she started off writing. That conversation was like she was talking to me directly of how she wrote her story of things that she had encountered. That conversation was speaking to me. God was using her as the vessel to speak to me, to tell me that I needed to write my story.
Okay. There's something about listening to other people who are in line with what their purpose is, right? Oftentimes, people don't realize that our stories are oftentimes breakthroughs for other people's stories. So I think it's amazing that you were listening to some other people operating in their God given purpose, saying what it is that God wanted them to say, so that you could hear it at the time that you heard it, in order for you to be ushered into what it is that you're supposed to do. And I bless the Lord for that, because guess what? There are people who are going to listen to this. They're going to hear your story.
Yes,
And you
ma'am.
know what's going to happen? They're going to be like, I was listening to this lady,
Yes, ma'am.
Tysheka Wright, and I heard her. And then I decided, right? That's the beauty of operating in our God-given purpose and opening up our mouths and saying what it is that God has called us to say. So I love that you heard someone else doing what they were supposed to be doing, and it connected with you for you to go ahead and start doing what it is that you're supposed to be doing. So I think that's pretty dope. So let's talk a little bit about challenges, because you are an author. This is your first published work, correct?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
All right. So tell me, what were some of the challenges? I know you said that you've known you were going to be a writer since like fourth grade. You've been writing. You enjoy writing essays and things of that nature. But I too am a self-published author, and I understand that writing an essay and writing a book are different, right? So, do you mind sharing maybe your toughest struggle or your biggest challenge to writing someone else? This is my story.
The challenges that I face when writing someone else, this is my story. Um, like you said, writing essays is different, totally different from writing a book. Someone else, this is my story, start off at 303 pages, now reduced to 196. I just wrote in the moment. I wrote when God woke me up. Like I said, I had that training myself to wake up at 3 p.m. or between 3 and 4 a.m. to start writing things while I was fresh on the brain, while the house was quiet, everybody was settled. The challenges that occurred to me is when trying to connect, making it make sense, because it's like a necklace. You connect it together to make it sense, that it flow, that your audience will be able to relate to what kind of message you're trying to relate. Those was the challenges where I was trying to figure out what fit, what didn't fit, And when I hooked up with a lady on Fiverr, total stranger, to do my self-developmental editing, it was some things that she was like, no, like it was a pardon that I had about my father that I was certain I wanted to put in there because I was doing the blame game and I wanted to put fault on him when it really wasn't his, you know what I'm saying? It was one-sided. It was things that he was going through that didn't need it. It wasn't the appropriate time. It was probably needed to be addressed, me and him and I personally. So extracting things that didn't fit to make the story flow, I think that was one of my biggest challenges. But I ended up narrowing it down to things that she suggested that I needed to take out that was really, really personal, that to make the whole story flow from where it was.
Let me tell you, what you just said is something that a lot of new authors find very difficult to do. And that is, one, hire an editor.
Yeah.
That is so important because we know our stories, but we know our stories from our perspective, right? We know what we want to say. We know, what happened to us per se. But when you have an editor who, especially a copy editor, someone who can actually read your text, and they know the heart of what you're trying to do, they understand what your vision is and what you're trying to get across, and they can read it and say, if you say this isn't really what people are going to see. This isn't what they're going to understand. Like, you think they will, but that's not it, right? And who's your audience and that type of thing. So I think one of the most difficult things for a lot of new authors to do is, one, hire an editor. And so I'm so proud of you that you did that. The second thing I heard you say was you had to, at some point, detach yourself from your own story and allow a professional to help you sort of weave it all together so that it's palatable to the people who are going to be eating it, right? To your readers. That's difficult to do because the name of your book is Someone Else. This is my story. But right? You see the irony in it. This is my story, but even in it being your story, you have to detach yourself from the personal, I lived it, and understand that you're not the one going to be reading your story. All these other people are going to be reading your story. And that is very difficult to do. And so I applaud you, Tysheka, because that is a definite challenge for many new authors, and for you to have overcome that in your very first book. So I want to ask, how did you overcome that challenge? How did you get to the point where you were able to just say, okay, I know I wrote 300 pages of stuff and you want to take out like a whole third of it?
Yeah.
Go ahead and do it. How did you overcome the challenge of detaching yourself from your story so that you could tell a fuller story?
But Angel, because it was not about me. I honestly, to in my core, would like to help. Like I said, I was really focused on women, but no, this ain't about women. It's about men. Excuse me, women. It's about men and women and our younger generation that's coming up. I really want my testimony to be a inspiration for those that are out there lost, to not go through the things that I went through, because I went through some seriously challenging times, from sexual immorality, which I am currently dealing with now. I'm not ashamed. I'm gonna be transparent here. Sexual immorality, drugs. I was on drugs. I was on alcohol, got to the point when I was drinking real heavy. But sexual immorality is something that I struggle with. And that's really what I want to aim for, because it's not talked about enough. Sexual immorality is a danger. It is dangerous. You hear me? And like I say, I'm currently dealing with those situations now, and I just want to inspire somebody today.
So you and I have had a long conversation about that sexual immorality, right? And I'm so glad that you touch on it inside of your work, because the truth is that I don't think we talk enough about it either as adults. We tell children don't do this, don't do that. We tell teenagers you shouldn't do this, you should wait for that, or whatever. But how often do we have conversations with adults to say, you probably should step up out of that too. I know you're grown and you can sleep with who you want to sleep with, but yeah, that's probably not going to be good for you, right? And that's probably going to cause some other things. It's going to open the door for some other stuff. So since we jumping on into it, I'm just going to say, with giving too much away, and before we go into that, I just want you all to see this book. It is a very beautiful, a uniquely designed cover. It is a beautiful book, y'all. I purchased it myself. Just let me say, books that are on the SpeakUpSis Bookshelf, I try my best to make sure that I purchase a book as well and put these books in my own personal collection. So we are here today for the Holiday Author Showcase because it's almost Christmas, y'all. And guess what? Books are the gifts that keep on giving. So while you're thinking about what you're going to give that coworker that you got to do that secret Santa stuff for, if you are thinking about your best friend or a good friend or just somebody that who needs what Tysheka has written and what she's talking about today, purchase the book. Put it as a stocking stuffer. You can give it as a gag gift if you want. You can give it as a secret Santa gift. You can purchase the book for yourself and give yourself a gift. But we are here this week so that you can meet some new self-published authors that you can support. You can read their work, you can give their work, and purchase for the holidays. Okay. So, and I want you all to notice that there's a Q. We're going to have a short Q&A session. So I would like for you, if you have any questions for our author, put them in the chat and I will make sure that we get to them. So Tysheka, without giving too much away, sis, can you share what the book is about and maybe the central message or the primary theme that is, prevalent within this book?
The message that I, Tysheka Wright, the vision, make it plain, want to display for my audience. Again, like I said, Tysheka struggled with her self-identity. Like I said, I wasn't comfortable in the skin that I was in. People call me black and dark, and I was not comfortable at all. I was picked on. I was bullied. Getting it connected with people, like I said, people that I had no business with, just trying to connect, trying to fit in with this crowd, trying to be a people pleaser again. Like I said, I was a people pleaser, and the overall, honestly, like I said, sexual immorality, it ties all together. Like I said, I was in a life full of sexual immorality, and it opens the doors to God knows what. And I was out there in a cesspool of sin. And don't get me wrong now. My mom told me, yeah, Tysheka, don't do this. Don't you get pregnant. Them little fast boys and this and that and the third. Oh, yes, I heard those stories, but I wasn't grounded to know because I thought I was missing something out there in the world. So my message to anyone out there, men and women, to follow God. Wait, young girls, wait on your Boaz. Don't be in no hurry to jump in the middle of the bed with nobody. I'm here to tell you, I am a witness. Because I've been hurt so much, and I don't want you to be hurt, anybody to be hurt, because love is not supposed to hurt.
I love that. I love that. Love is not supposed to hurt. Love is supposed to be patient, right? And kind and slow to anger and all those good things. It is not supposed to hurt. When people say love hurts, no, people hurt people, right? People hurt people. That love doesn't hurt. So, what else? Is there anything specific in this book that you think people should hold on? Like, hold on, when you get to this part, this gonna be it, or you really gonna love this part, or something of that nature. So, is there anything within this book that you think is like the best part or part that you just loved writing that you like to share with our viewers?
The best part of someone else, this is my story, is when I encountered a relationship with my father. Those moments when the spirit was talking to Tysheka, when I was asking questions about, I won't share too much of the book, but when I was trying to figure out what was going on with my daughter's father. And when the Holy Spirit came to me and spoke to me and told me that just as clear, he was missing love. Love is the foundation of all of our journeys. Love is the foundation of how we move. And when it came to me like that, it was a sinking spirit. It was just the Holy Spirit. Just I can't even describe it. I can't even describe it.
Don't you just love those Holy Spirit moments?
Yes, I'm sitting here thinking I can't even describe the feeling. It was just in the pit of my stomach, and how what he was missing throughout
Right.
his duration.
Right. Gosh, I love that. I absolutely love that. Listen, if you are watching today, we welcome you to put your questions in the chat. If you have any questions for author Tysheka Nekole Wright, we welcome you to ask them. Put them in the comment section. We would love to read them and have her answer any questions. If you've actually read her book, go ahead and shout yourself out in the comment section. We would love to know that you've actually read it. If you want to ask her any questions, you have the floor today to do that. So put your questions in the chat. Tysheka, I want to ask you, what do you hope that people will feel, or maybe what people will learn after they have read the fullness of this book? What are you hoping that they take away in terms of how they feel, or maybe what you hope that they will learn after reading your book?
After they finish reading my book, I hope they take away a sense that none of y'all can't do it. None of Deborah way, Angel way, Tysheka way. You got to do it God way. You can't continue living in the world and think that God is going to be pleased with what you're doing out there in the world. Because like I said, I did everything under the sun that I thought that Tysheka was big enough to do. And there was some hard lessons that I encountered, especially, like I said, my main focus is sexual morality, dealing with in and out of different relationships with different people that was not ordained to fit my life, that God had me going, which he had me to going in the direction that he wanted me to do.
Girl, that's a good lesson. So, and you know what? It brings us full circle in the title, right?
Mm-hmm.
Someone else. This is your story.
Mm-hmm.
This is your story. It's not Angel's story. It's not, like you said, it's not Deborah's story. It's nobody's story. It's your story. But all of our stories begin and end with our Father, every single one of them. And doing things his way is the best way. So I absolutely love that. I absolutely love that. And I am praying that those of you who are watching, if you have not already gotten a copy of Tysheka's book, that you will go ahead and do that. Alicia says, inspire us. Yes, absolutely. I'm praying that you're gonna be inspired when you read this book as well. And don't forget to let her know when you have read it and you have been inspired. Go write a review on Amazon to let her know, right? Don't just message her inbox or something of that nature. Let the world know that you've been inspired by her work. So Latoya, Dr. Mack, has a question. She says, how did it feel when you first learned that you were a best-selling author?
Oh my. The very first time that I got the best-selling author, now I'm going to go back, and Dr. Latoya, no, because she said, why are you saying it so loosely? I'm the best-selling author of a book somewhere. You're supposed to be jumping up and down, screaming to the top of your lungs. But Tysheka was not conditioned to know what her purpose was, until now. to currently, because I've been rejected so much. I didn't know how it feels. Y'all don't know how it feels now to accept what I'm called as got me currently doing. Because when I was reaching for that job at work, I wanted that job at work, but that was not what God had it for me to do. So now now that I'm receiving the best-selling author, I'm jumping out my seat. Just like when you Speak Up Sis told me I had a interview and I was going to be placed in the magazine, I was in there doing the dance. I was in there dancing at my desk. They were like, what Tysheka doing? I'm appreciative.
Yes, you should absolutely celebrate. I believe in celebrating all of our wins. Celebrate your big wins, celebrate your little wins, celebrate your in-between wins. They're all wins. Why? Because it is about progress and not perfection. You are moving forward, right? Even in the back of your book, you have here that this was a transformative journey for you, right?
Right.
Transformation is beautiful. And when you're transforming from a fleshly, worldly place into a higher spiritual place with the Father, that is reason to rejoice. So everything, and He is concerned about every part of us, not just the spiritual parts, but He is concerned about you sharing your story, just like Revelation 12:11 says, right? For we triumph Him by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. He is concerned about that. He is concerned that you have written this book and that it is on the #1 list. I think like top 100 has been #1 several times. He is concerned about that. Why? Because people are reading your story and they are learning from you. They're being inspired by you. They're being encouraged by you. So sis, I'm happy that you're happy and that you are that you're sharing so vibrantly. I appreciate you. I'm happy to have you in my space and in my life at this space and time in my own journey. So I say thank you.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you. And thank you so much, Dr. Latoya Mack, for your question. If anyone else has any questions, Sarah says, yes, yes. Leslie is clapping for you. I am clapping for you too, sis. We are all really, really excited about what it is that you are doing. For those of you who may just be tuning in, my name is Angel Charmaine. I'm the host of the Speak Up Sis talk show for authors, conversations that connect. And this is the first day of our holiday author showcase. And author Tysheka Nekole Wright is our very first guest on the showcase. The title of her book is Someone Else, This Is My Story. Her book is listed on SpeakUpSis Bookshelf. And I invite you all to visit speakupsis.com/bookshelf and get you a copy. If this is your very, very, very first time watching our show, please put a #1 in the comments so that I can thank you personally for coming into this space today. I also want to say to you that when you go to speakupsis.com/bookshelf to purchase a copy of author Tysheka's book, Speak Up Sis Bookshelf is not getting any of her funds. I know sometimes people are like, how can I get the book so she get all her money? Trust, I am a 3-time self-published author and 4, excuse me. And I know what it means to be able to get all of your coins. We do not take any of the author's money. We simply give you an easier way to access her book. That's it. So when you go to speakupsis.com/bookshelf and you click on her book, it's going to take you to where she wants you to purchase her book. So I just want to make sure that you all understand that. So please go to speakupsis.com/bookshelf, click on her book and order the book today. Hello, I want to say Adriani, I hope that I am not tearing up your name. But thank you so much for joining us today. She put a 1 in the comments. She is new to the show. Thank you so much for watching. Sandra, how you doing, Sandra? She put a 1 in the comments as well. Saniqua, you know, these are your people. Are these your people, Tysheka?
Oh, I don't know, Adriana. I was just waving, I was doing my little
You
wave.
waving at everybody. Okay. Saniqua Renee, she said that this is her first time joining us as well. So I want to say thank you so much for joining us. Latoya Dr. Mack says, can you tell us about your cover design and what inspired it?
My cover design for someone else, this is my story. I wanted the Bible because, and as you can see, the pages are tattered because that was what my life was like. Because Tysheka wasn't reading the Bible. I'm just gonna be honest. And Tysheka went to church. Matter of fact, Tysheka counted in the month how many times Tysheka was gonna go to church. Yeah, I had to count. Okay, I'm gonna go one. I'm gonna go the first Sunday. I'm gonna go the second. No, I can't go the third Sunday because I'm going to the club. I'm gonna just be transparent with y'all. But I wanted the Bible to be in the middle. And if that's all I had at first with the cross, right? So I got my son involved and my children and asked them what they think. And believe it or not, my son said, it's too plain, Mom. You got to give it something that's gonna pop. You want your readers to, target into your book. You want them to, you want it to pop. So he said, won't you put some pictures on there, like when you in your current, who you are now, when you was a child, and when you was out there in the world. Now, y'all know I was over there, I was out there smoking cigars and all kind of old stuff, you know what I'm saying? Cigarettes or what have you. So I picked that picture and my current picture's in the middle. And of course, my picture when I was out there in the world.
Okay. Listen, our children, they know us best. Mm-hmm. Right. And not only that, but they're consumers too. They know what they like. They know what they don't like. So I am grateful that you have a child who was even invested enough in what it is that you're doing to give you some advice. And I think he gave you some really good advice. I absolutely love the cover. And I love that you've got your family here on the back side of the cover as well. So go get the book, y'all. Go get the book. Like I said, you can get it for yourself. You can gift it to someone, but get the book. Yes, and thank you so much. She says you can call me Anna for short. That's what's up. So here, Tasha, if you want to hold your book up too.
Yes, ma'am.
This is the book right here. You see the Bible. She said it opens. You got her picture is like in the center of the Bible. There's a picture of her there, and there is a childhood picture there. This is the cover of someone else. This is my story. Harold Best Thought says it's a beautiful cover. I think so too. I absolutely think so too. So believe it or not, our time has wound up today on Conversations That Connect. But before we leave the people, I love for my guests to have the last word in this conversation. So if you will, please share a piece of encouragement or inspiration for those who are watching you today. Leave them with something good and hearty.
Thank you, Angel. For those out there listening, you may not have went through what I may have encountered, whether it's sexual immorality, drugs, alcohol abuse. Everyone got a story to tell. I don't care how big, I don't care how small. Share your story because it could help someone out there. Everyone is going through something. It don't matter what it is. Everyone has situations and trials that they have. So share your story so you could be an inspiration to someone that needs help.
That's it. That's all. That's it. Share your story for someone else who could potentially need that help. Tysheka, thank you so much for joining me today on Conversations That Connect. I know that there are people who have watched, who have connected with what it is that you have had to say. And I am so grateful and I am so honored to know you at this juncture in my journey. And I know that we've got more places to go together. Thank you so much. You have set the bar for our Holiday Author Showcase, and I am super excited to see what's coming up next the rest of this week with the other authors. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for joining us today. I really, really appreciate you.
Thank you too, Angel.
All right, everyone. Thank you all so very much for tuning in today and watching Conversations That Connect with author Tysheka Nekole Wright and her book, Someone Else, This Is My Story. Remember, her book is listed on SpeakUpSis Bookshelf. You can visit speakupsis.com/bookshelf. Just click on her book cover and it will take you where the author would like for you to purchase her book. I want to say once again, I appreciate every single one of you. And listen, I want you to tune in every day this week at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time so that you can meet the rest of our authors for our holiday author showcase. We've got a treat for you tomorrow, another brand spanking new author will be in the space. So make sure you come back. If you would like to become a guest on Speak Up Sis Talk Show for Authors, Conversations That Connect, please visit speakupsis.com/talk show and select Become a Guest. I would love to share you and your work here on the Speak Up Sis Talk Show for Authors, Conversations That Connect. I'm your host, Angel Charmaine. And until tomorrow, don't forget, open up your mouth and speak up. You all take care. Have a great rest